to work, and I'ma gauge my progress by the sign of the word. Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress, cause by the time you hear the CD count the steps
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! And I know what's on everybody's mind right now, right? Well, it all depends on the way it is that you celebrated New Year's yesterday, right? Y'all might be like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Talk about a case of the Mondays, right? We ain't about that right here though. I don't care what you did yesterday. I used to have a mentor of mine, right? And we used to go out and throw a couple back, right? We used to say we'd go out and have a couple of soda pops, right? That was code for what it was we was gonna do, right? So we would go out and we'd have some drinks and all that, right? And he would look at me before I would leave and he'd be like, hey, Pablo, check this out. It's all right to stay up late with the boys, but you need to wake up early with the men, right? So, and again, some of y'all might get a little offended about that because, you know what I'm saying, the paternal, whatever, and all that, the social construct. But that's not what I'm trying to focus on. What I'm trying to focus on is that if you're going to go out and you're going to party, right? You're going to go do what it is that you want to do all night, right? That's fine as a kid, right? You know what I'm saying? That youthfulness inside of you, go ahead, tackle that, right? But you need to be able to wake up and grind it out like the adults, right? Like those, like, and I ain't talking about age, I'm talking about maturity. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care if you 40, 50, 60, 20, 15, whatever it is, I don't really care. If you're going to sit there and you're going to play, you're going to tap into that child side of you. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. Go ahead, tap into the child side, right? But you need to tap into that maturity side when you wake up in the morning, right? There's a little baby message for you to start this off, right? My name is Pablo Rivera. This is Watch Me Make It Happen. It's a special New Year's edition, right? Because we're going to start this year off strong, right? When we came into the fall and the winter months, right? I told y'all that it was time to harvest. It was time to be able to reap everything it is that we sowed in the past, right? So now some of y'all was like, yo, I never was able to reap. I was never able to sow. I never did anything. I ain't planting nothing. I didn't set any trajectory. I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So here we were in the fall and the winter time, and y'all was like, I don't see no fruits of my labors, right? Well, with no labors, there will be no fruits. You know what I'm saying? So stop looking for fruits if you ain't put in the labor, right? You know what I'm saying? So check this out. This is a new year and a new beginning, right? We started Watch Me Make It Happen as this whole platform back in 23, right? Last year, about maybe 6-7 months ago, something like that, right? But so my, I don't know, we want to call it like a fiscal year, even though we ain't necessarily making money on this, right? But from when it started was back then. But this is a new beginning, right? For y'all who maybe was just starting to jump in, or maybe y'all who are going back in time and watching these videos or whatever, right? But this is a new beginning. It is the first days, January 1 of 2024, right? New beginnings, new year, right? So here's the way I want to start this out. I want to framework it like this. I want you to take 2 excuses or 2 things that you say, and I want you to crumble them up, throw them away, right? First thing, throw away all your I don't knows. Why did you do this? I don't know. Well, how did this happen? I don't know. Nah, that's not a reason, okay? Now, if anything that happens outside of you, right? Why is it that wall fell down? You ain't never over it. I don't know. That's an acceptable reason. But anything that has to do with you, anything that you put your finger on, anything that you put your signature on, anything that you have exhausted or exerted any type of effort towards, right? You need to know. You need to know because that was your decision. Ain't nobody taking you and twisting your arm and making you make a decision. And if so, okay, right? You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, ain't nobody getting abused into making these decisions when we talking about our pursuit of our goals. You know what I'm saying? So again, throw away I don't knows, right? You know what else I want you to throw away? Oh, you right. Oh, yeah, you right. Now, listen. We ain't framing it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's outside of us, right? So what that person is right? How is it that you're determining that person is right? How is it that you going around and you telling somebody else that they right? They telling you something, right? And you gonna tell them that they right. What it is you analyzing that, right? You comparing and contrasting that with the facts that you believe you already have in your mind. And that's what's up, right? Go ahead. That's good. I agree is a much better answer rather than you're right. You know what I'm saying? Because you're taking the knowledge out of you and giving it to somebody else. That's your knowledge. You are the person who needs to sign on that, right? I had another mentor who used to tell me, he was like, look, my team is what creates what's in the document. All I do is sign the bottom, right? Now, I understand that there's some acknowledgement and some understanding that his team made the right decisions, and I'm sure he reviewed and blah, 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 right? But that's what it is that whoever it is who's doing this up top, we just signed the bottom, right? We need to be able to clearly identify what it is that we did and how it is that we did it and the decisions that we decided to get to that point, right? And if you're going to sit here and you're going to say, I don't know, or you're going to sit there and you're going to take what's rightfully yours and hand it to somebody else and say, oh yeah, you're right. You are decreasing your value, right? And I believe that your value of your word, the value that you have of yourself is paramount, right? Second to God. But other than that, the way you feel about yourself, and honestly, I can sit here and have a discussion about how your self-confidence and the vision that you have about yourself is congruent. It's aligned with what it is that God has and what it is that God created, right? So check this out. New year, new beginnings. We got 365 opportunities to make good decisions, right? We already talked about that in one of the morning motivations, right? 365 days of making good decisions, right? So check this out. As long as you had already started to sow your seeds already in 2023, right? And if you haven't, we're going to start doing that very early in 2024. It's all good. It's all good, right? We're going to be able to continue on with those of y'all who've been rocking with us since a few months ago. And we're going to be able to have a nice new beginning, a new starting point for those of y'all who are jumping on right now, right? That's the beauty of Watch Me Make It Happen. Is I'm not telling you what to do in your particular life. I'm saying whatever it is that you're trying to do in your particular life, you can follow these steps and we're going to be able to get there a whole lot faster, safer, more productive, and you're going to be way happier. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. 365 days of good decision making, right? I don't care if it's fitness, if it's faith, if it's personal, if it's professional, if it's hobby, I don't care what it is, but you're going to be making good decisions, right? So how is it that we make good decisions? We got to have a clear vision, right? So again, decisions, right? From our decisions, we're going to create actions. From our actions, those actions that are consistently repeated, they become our habits. Our habits become our character, and our character is exactly who we are, right? I'm telling you, I'm giving you a lot of information right now, but it's January 1. So if you coming out of a stoop, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or you fresh and you ready to go, fantastic. If you're not fresh and ready to go, maybe you're going to have to listen to this a couple times, all right? Because I'm dropping a lot of information. And this is kind of like my introductory statement for the year. You know what I'm saying? Here's where we at. So 2024, it's all about taking personal accountability. I don't care what it is the other person did. I don't care if that person is a racist. I don't care if that person is a sexist. I don't care if it's a male. I don't care if it's a female. I don't care if they're in a position of power. I don't care if they're a position of influence. It doesn't matter what they did. It matters of what it is that I'm doing, right? It matters about what you do, right? Because you can very easily relinquish all responsibility from yourself and throw it onto somebody else, right? You can do it. It don't mean it's true, right? So what we're doing is rather than sitting there and trying to search outside, right? We searching inside. I don't know if y'all starting to develop a pattern or recognize a pattern in this yet, right? But we working from the inside, right? We don't want to have our ambitions, right? Our goals be from the outside. We want them to be from the inside. You see what I'm saying? And we also don't want to have our concern, our excuses, the reasons why it is that we didn't do something be from the outside. If the only way we can say that something failed that we was doing is by pointing outside of us, we wrong. We need to have another self-inventory. We need to evaluate ourselves one more time, right? Because somebody else who's racist against a Puerto Rican ain't stopping me from studying. Somebody else who's racist against me being Puerto Rican is not going to sit there and prevent me from having the work ethic that I got. Right? It's not going to rip away my integrity. It's not going to rip away my honor, right? Something that they do that is offensive does not necessarily equal the fact that I need to be offended, right? That ain't the way it is, right? So again, taking personal accountability. Any failure, any success, it's on me, right? It's on you, because that's the way it's going to be. So with that, we need to figure out how it is that our decisions are affecting us, right? How is it that the decisions that we are making are impacting our pursuit towards our goals, right? So our pursuit to our goals. How is it that it's impacting our dreams? How is it that it's impacting our ambition, our happiness, all of it? How is it that our decisions are impacting that? And if you can't draw a straight line to that, then again, that's the reason why we're doing this self-inventory, right? But even more so than that, even more so than how is it that my decisions are impacting me? How is it that your goals are impacting those who depend on you, on those around you, right? How is it that it's impacting your wife? How is it that it's impacting your kids? How is it that it's impacting your friends, your other family? How is it that it's impacting your faith? Think about that. How is it that it's impacting those who see you as a role model? Your decisions are more so than just you, right? They're your decisions. So you're looking inside. And that's why I said, first of all, look internally, right? How is it impacting your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your ambition, all of that stuff? But I'm going to let you know that slightly outside of you, but still inside of you is your wife or your husband. Slightly outside of you, but still inside of you are your children, right? Slightly outside of you, but still inside of you is your family. How is it that it's impacting them? How is it impacting your son when you tell him you're going to be there at a certain time and you late as anything and he's waiting for you looking out the window? How is it that that's impacting your son? How is it that you never show up when you said you was going to show up? How is it that that's impacting your son? How is it impacting your wife when she needs to wake up in the morning and she needs to tiptoe around you because you still asleep and she going and getting it in? Or vice versa, right? You sleeping and she need to walk by you every day. She motivated, you ain't. How is it that your decisions are impacting her? How is it that your boss is still waiting on you for this project that you said you were supposed to have done and it's going to impact the company, but because your decisions are your decisions and you don't feel they impact anybody outside of you, he's still waiting? How does that sound? How is it that your decisions impact you, and how is it that it impacts those around you? I'm telling you, we taking personal accountability on everything it is that we doing. Why is it that you ain't studying for your test? Why is it that you ain't doing your homework? And then all of a sudden you're going to sit here and wonder why it is that you didn't pass your test, that you failed in your grade level, whatever that is, that you can't read so well, right? You want to sit there, there's statistics going around saying that the average high school kid can't even read to his grade level, right? Or her grade level. Is that your excuse for saying, well, nobody else can read, so I ain't going to read? Come on, man. It's taking personal accountability for our decisions, right? We need to make sure that we are sowing right now so that we can reap it later. You can't read so well, you need to be able to read right now. You need to get hooked on phonics. You need to find somebody who can help you read. You need to just read. I'm telling you, because by reading more, you're going to be able to read better, right? You are sowing today so that you can reap later. Make sure that you start organizing yourself. Get yourself a planner or something like that, right? So that you can start handing in these projects and assignments to your teacher or your job or your employer on time, right? Make sure you wake up before your spouse, or at least at the same time. Make it a team effort. Y'all waking up at 4 o'clock together so that y'all can do at least stretches or read the Bible or do whatever, right? Personal accountability. How is it that my decisions, my actions are impacting myself? And how is it that my actions and my tasks, the things that I'm doing on a daily basis, are impacting those around me, right? So what we got to do right now is what I want you to do before next week is I want you to do a gut check, right? I call it a self-inventory. I want you to think about what it is that you want. What is it, right? Not only what is it that you want, is what is it going to take for you to get there, right? So what do I want? What do you want? What is it going to take for you to get there, right? And then analyze them two things. And now here's the tough part. Do you have what it takes to get there? You already know what you want. You already know what it's going to take to get there. But do you have what it takes to get there? Let me tell you something. You absolutely have what it takes to get there. All right? All of us was given gifts and we have what it takes. We just got to get ourselves in the mind state, right? We need to be able to make better decisions. We got 365 of making better decisions, right? Do you have the courage to be able to pursue your goals? Do you have the self-confidence to pursue your goals? Do you have a plan? Have you clearly defined your why? Why is it that you want these things? Have you implemented controls? Do you have these controls put in place so that if you start to steer off your course, you can pull it right back? What are the milestones that you put in place so that you understand that you are actually making progress towards your goals? What are they? Oh, you don't have them? That's all right. Welcome to Watch Me Make It Happen, because that's what we're going to start working on here, right? I want to welcome you to the new year. If you haven't decided what it is that your New Year's resolution is, I'm actually thankful for that, right? Because what I'd like for all of us to do here in the Watch Me Make It Happen community is to have the New Year's resolution of being resolute in our pursuit of our goals, right? We already have our goals. We got them in our mind. Maybe we got to define them a little bit clearer. Maybe we need to put a couple things in place, right? But we already know what it is that we want. We got that inside feeling. We got that gut feeling that tells us what it is that we want. 2024, we're going to define what that is, right? We're going to make sure that we build our courage and our self-confidence to create a plan that we can work through and understand that we trust that process and we can move forward, right? That's what 2024 is about. So when you're sitting here and you clearly defining what it is that you want, where it is that you want to go, right? I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't want you to start next Monday until you do this Monday's task, right? 365 days of good decisions, right? You got 7 days if you include today to be able to get this done. I want you to write out what you want. I want you to write out where you want to be, right? I want you to write it out. And I want you to really like seriously think about it in your mind, right? Where are my visionaries at, right? I want you to create a vision of what it is that you want. I want you to create a vision of where it is that you want to be or where you want to go, right? And I want you to write it out. This should be an exercise in free writing, right? It just write and write and write and write. Anytime you think of another detail, write it. I don't care if you're writing. I have no idea what to write right now. We can clean that up later, right? But I want you to just take what's in here and I want you to put it on paper. I want you to, this is the beginning of you starting to realize your why and your what. Right? Because it don't matter if you know your what. If you ain't got a why to go with it, I would question if that's really your what or not, right? Again, write it down. I want you to write it down so clearly that if you would have handed it to somebody else and we just cross out the extra, I don't know what I'm writing right now, but all the details and all the characteristics and all the passion that you wrote with, I want to be able to read that and understand and see your vision almost as clearly as you can, right? If you can do that, well, then we agree that you got a nice vision in your brain. And then we can start working on the why, and then we can start working on the plan and the process, right? So check this out. I want to conclude with this. I want you to think about what it is that you want to do or where you want to be, right? I want you to put that in your brain super clearly. I want you to see it. I want you to be able to close your eyes and I want you to see where it is that you want to be. I don't care if it's a month from now, if it's a year from now, if it's 5-10 years from now, but I want you to be able to paint what it is that you want out of life, right? Paint that picture. I want you to recognize that all of that is going to take a whole lot of work. It's going to take a whole lot of hard work, right? Be ready for it. Build up that courage. Build up that self-confidence. Remember that you have all the tools necessary within you already to be able to achieve your goals, right? So get ready. Take a self-inventory and let's get ready for that hard work. It's 2024. We're going to make it happen, right? My name is Pablo Rivera. Watch me make it happen.
Ain't no time to think about it, only time to react. Your intuition under pressure, weigh it down on your back. I scribble thoughts in my palm, I see you when I get home. Organize my inner visions while I'm chilling